Okay. So again, back here for those who just arrived. Okay. So I'm working right now. Based from my schedule is under Terry. Okay, and I am in charge for SQ flights or SQ miles. Okay, for the quality airlines, the in general info, it is under the link because it is a separate link. Okay, so all you need in that general info for the quality airlines, the link for that is the airline quality, and the website for that is this one. Okay, okay, because one of the criteria you need to also consider when sending a code if it's competitive or not is based from the airline quality. So if you want to check um, each airline quality by the rating star rating, okay, so we have here the 5 star, the 4 star, the 3 star, and the 2 star. Okay, so the link is under the tools and airline links in general info. Okay, so someone did like erase it here. Let me just add it. I think they did erase it. So I'll need to add it up. Okay, there you go. Okay, so back to business again. So I'm going to restart with here. Okay, so again, I'm checking for possible code for SQ using SQ miles or Sky Risk Flyer miles from SQ for Stacy Lavette. Okay, so his or her request is from Perth to Singapore, though it is not stated here. This the info. Okay, though it's not stated here the info of his departure and his arrival here. Okay, but you could conclude if in this case you could conclude that this is a round trip. Okay, this is a round trip. Even let's check it here. So it's you cannot say that this is only a one way. Okay, because if you're going to check it here, there is a date which is different from the first leg. The second leg, though, again, the second leg doesn't have the destination or the city provided. There's no city provided here, even though we check also in the old codes here. There is no city provided, just A and B here. But you can see the trip type, it is return. Okay, so we could say that this one, or even though without checking the request info all, we could already conclude that this one is a round trip. Okay, because you can see here this that the date. Okay, the date for the first leg and the date for the second leg is different. So meaning that they are, or we could conclude that this is a round trip. And also based from the, again, from the request info here, let me just make it bigger for you guys to read it much better. Okay. So again, I'm also going to read this. Please email economy, premium economy, and business class flight options. Arrival in Singapore must be um, between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Depart Singapore must be between midday to 8 p.m. of 400 GP or more. Again, we only the rule of company is we only send first class and business class flight, but there is an exemption again. So this one is an exemption. We could send them premium economy flights, or business class flight. Since the LFC, okay, or Terry, since I'm working on this code is under Terry, okay, they inform that we could send the codes for economy, premium economy, or business class flight. So we could send economy, premium economy, and business class flight for this for Stacy. Okay, but making sure that the codes we're sending is competitive under matrix price. Okay. And I also need to be watchful or be mindful with the preferences of the client, since he said here that arrival, not departure. Okay, arrival in Singapore must be 11 a.m. and must be between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. So I cannot go beyond or before 11 or um beyond 11 p.m. for the arrival in Singapore. Again, it's arrival, not departure. And depart Singapore. So we could see, it is clear here that this is a round trip. Okay, because it says here depart Singapore. Okay, must be between midday to 8 p.m. So midday starts by 11 p.m. Even if we're going to check it in the matrix. Okay, so midday here is 11 p.m. So that is midday 11 p.m. between midday to 8 p.m. So and this one is an instruction from Terry that I need to use 400 GP. Okay. So let's say that if I'm in competitive, like I need to lower it by 300. I need to inform first, okay? To be competitive, I need to inform first Terry if I could use 300 to be competitive. Okay. Before I send it. But I need to have at least 400 GP or start with 400 GP here. So again, since I'm just focusing on Singapore Air for now, though this is an old code, I'm still checking on Singapore Air. Okay, so the prices for this is 1,562 for a round trip flight nonstop. So I need to beat this price. Okay. I already checked it and I already checked let me just I already checked the flight and it is uncompetitive. But for you guys to see it, why I did say that it's uncompetitive, I'll do the researching again just for you to see. Let me just refresh this one. Okay. So that is from Perth to Singapore. So it is April 16, 2018 to 26. So it will return on 26, 2018 of April. So I need to start in business class first, and I need to search for 3 person. Though we are only coding for 1 person, again, if though we are sending codes for 1 person or price for 1 person, but in searching for the website, we need to look for the required pax or the required passenger for the flight. Okay. So if you do have some questions, just chat it. I type it in the chat box. Wait for a moment, guys. Okay. Let me just give. Let me have like a minute or two. Hello, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry for that, guys. A bit noisy in my background here. Just check this. Okay, so let's go back here. So again, based from the request, the arrival for Singapore it should be 11 a.m. between 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so I cannot okay. So based from here is I could from the outbound, okay, or from departure flight I could send almost all of them since they do go within or I could choose any of them since they sorry. Okay, so since they do um they are since they are within the preferences of the clients, okay. So but I cannot, except for this one, I cannot use the saver mile here since this one is a waitlist. We cannot use or we cannot send any waitlist flight. If it's marked waitlist, we cannot use them. Okay. So I'll go with this. I'll just go with the first one. Okay. And for the outbound is the departure is midday. Okay, midday. Departure from Singapore is midday, so I cannot use this one since this will depart in midnight. Okay, and this is will depart in 7:45, which is in the morning. This is 9:30 in the morning, but I can have this since it will be departing at 6. Okay. Again, based from the request, he wants to depart midday. Okay, midday until 8 p.m. And luckily, we have a 6 p.m. flight here, or 6:45 p.m. flight. So I'll be choosing this one. Okay. So I got the miles and the taxes for 3 adults. So I need to copy this, or I need to get this one and copy it and paste in my um award calculator here. And this one is Australian dollar, so I need to convert it first before pasting it in my tax. Okay. So making sure that is $399 because might like I might copy a different one. Okay. So this amount, okay, so this amount is for four I three passenger, three packs. So I need to split it for one to get the price for one packs or one passenger. So the converted amount, okay, so converted amount is 11 or 1,147 for this um round trip flight. So basing from that one, okay, basing from this, I already know that okay. Basing from this, just got the computation. I haven't yet got my GP. I haven't yet set my GP. Just basing from this, I already determine or I can already say that I am uncompetitive with the prices for the um, Singapore airline, because the least price they do have a non-stop flight round trip is 15 or 1,562, and the converted price and the converted miles is 1,147. And if I'm going to add a GP for this one, okay, so if I'm going to add a GP for this one, it will be 1,500. If I'm going to set it for 400 GP, it's already 1,500. Okay. So I am already uncompetitive with the price. Because I need to beat this price even though this is not the exact price. Okay, even though this is not the exact price, but from the Singapore airline itself, even though this is not the exact price, I could already conclude that I am uncompetitive. Okay, because this I have filtered the research. I already filtered the research, and based from the duration, so this is the best flight from Singapore airline, and the price is 1562. And I need to beat this price, but okay, but from just checking or looking at my award calculator without the GP, I could already say that I will be uncompetitive with it. So now I'm checking. So what I'm doing next, what I'm going to do next, since he says that he's okay, or we could send a premium economy, and business class flight options. So what I'll be doing is I'm also checking for like the cheapest or the economy flight for this. How much is this economy price for this one? So we have economy price for Singapore Airlines is 47 479. Okay, 479. So if I'm going to check for economy, I need to beat this 479. But based or checking from this price in Matrix, I will not be beating the economy price for Singapore Airline. Since if I need to use 400 GP on this, okay, so I am already competitive. I am already uncompetitive. I'm already competitive for it. So what I'll be doing next is I'll be trying to like look for a mixed cabin flight. Okay. So I'll be going with a mixed cabin flight. Okay. So if you cannot be competitive with like a full business class or a full first class flight, you can go with a mixed cabin flight. But making sure or basing from the mixed cabin flight, you also need to be competitive or by um reasonable. The price will be reasonable if you're using a mixed cabin flight. So this is for 3-person flight for one way. So I need to have it like that. Okay. Oh, So I'll check first with premium economy if they do have premium economy on this seat. I on this flight because they might not have a premium economy because depending on the airlines or on the aircraft if they have a premium economy on that certain aircraft. But since there is none, I'll just try and have it. Okay. With economy class. So how much would I have? How much would be the price for a mixed flight for an a economy and a business class flight? Okay. So the price for that is for 1,507. Okay. So if I have a 400 1,400 too. So on this is I still cannot have it. I still cannot have it as a competitive though I'm already below with my price. I'm already below with the 1562 price for a full this but this one is a full business class flight. Okay. So I cannot still have it or I cannot still consider this one as a competitive price for the client since this is a mixed economy and a business class flight. So if I go instead of economy, though it's not stated that though it is not stated that they are okay or they could have the first class flight. So instead of having a economy and mixed economy and business class flight, I'll try to have a mixed business class and first class flight if they do have it available on the airline or on the route. Okay. Because not all the route they do have like all the classes cabin classes. Okay. So they might just be offering until business class for that certain route, or they could have like all the four classes, cabin classes for that certain route. But do not expect that all of the routes they will be offering all the cabin classes. So they don't have they don't have available first class flight for this. So let me just go back and check it. Okay. So if I'll go and try having, hmm, I'll try and check my contest if they do have Emirates flight. Because if I'm going to use an Emirates flight here, I might use, or if I go and check an Emirates flight using the Emirates website, okay, I might be getting a standard or full miles from Emirates. So it is best for me to go with Qantas in checking if I'm checking for a one-way flight for Emirates. Hmm. Okay, sorry again. Just- well, I could. Someone did send a chat here. So from Ellen's question is, it says, can you send different airline if you are scheduled only on 4SQ? Palagay po natin merong nakascasa. Okay. Um, I could send, okay, mix flight. If since I'm using SQ for my first leg or for my departure, and I cannot be competitive if I'm using a full SQ miles. Okay, so I could try having a mixed miles or mixed airline. Okay, so let's go back with the scheduler here. Okay, so if combining SQ miles, okay, if I'm combining SQ miles one way with other miles, then that is okay also. Okay, so even though I'm scheduled with SQ, okay, so I did use SQ for my departure flight, and I'm checking on a different mile, that is okay. Okay, but most of the time, especially for like new coders, okay, new coders, they are having a hard time determining the prices if they are competitive or uncompetitive, because most of the time if you are combining airlines or yeah, mixing airlines or mixing miles, based from the matrix price, you will be competitive. Yes, that is right, you will be competitive if you are going to base it from the exact flight price, from the matrix price, from the exact flight. But if you're going to but it is not necessarily, or you if you're going to have a mixed miles, don't just compare your price with the exact flight. You need to also consider the other airlines. Okay, and that is what our problem right now. Like we are most of the airlines or flights that was sent by other coders are uncompetitive, especially if there are new coders, I mean, are uncompetitive, especially if they are using mixed airline. Okay, so you didn't see that I use, you might observe that why I didn't check the classic, okay, when searching here. Okay, so because I do have already, I already did know that Qantas to offer flights from that, so I, it's okay that I did not check the classic here, but making sure that I'll be checking the classic flight here if I'm searching in Kansas. Okay. So that should be three adults. So I'll just, I need to make sure that I'll check the search classic flight here. Okay. So that should be 26, but there is no available flight for 26 in this. Good. And for this request, it is much better to have or to send a non-stop flight than having it a one-stop flight. Okay, because you could see that there is a lot. Okay, so there are like one, two, three, four airlines that is offering a non-stop flight for this. Okay, so I think it is much better to send a non-stop flight than having a one-stop flight. Okay. So since there is no a price for the SQ, so I'll just have it SQ business class or economy. Okay. So they are uncompetitive, so I'll just mark it uncompetitive. Okay. Let me check again if like there are new codes that just arrive. Okay. Hmm. So since this one is requested 9 September 16, okay. So I could check other malls here since this one is exemption or doesn't add up on this one on my schedule since there is no, I already checked the other new flights, okay, other new codes within 8 hours. I already checked new codes within 8 hours based from here. Again, this one is US based time. Mount I think it is mountain time. So the you don't base this on Philippine time. The requested time here and date, this is US based time, not Philippine time. So if you need to like compare, if it's within 8 hours, you need to check the US time. Okay. So I already checked some, and based from this, since I'm working on SQ, usually I cannot work on others. Okay, so my route is limited. Usually Australia, within Australia, okay, or one of the leg or one of the city is within Australia or within Asia near Singapore, like Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. Again, so I could have them, but if like it is in Hong Kong, Korean, I cannot have it if I'm using Singapore Airline because they will need a like maybe in Hong Kong there is a possibility if it's in San Francisco or in US I might consider that one, but if it's like in just in Europe, city in Europe, I cannot have it because usually in Singapore Airline, they most of the flight from Singapore Airline will have a stopover or will have a change of plane in Singapore. Okay, or their hub is in since their hub is in Singapore, so they usually have a straight Singapore City flights. So I already only have like limited um area to search or area option to search here. It's like say this one PVD to Sydney. So it is Sydney, but I already checked this one as, and I cannot have a Singapore flight from for this. We have London to Sydney, and I already checked it, and someone did already send a Singapore airline flight. Okay, so I cannot send a Singapore airline flight here. Yeah. Then Sydney to Dusseldorf is I also check this one, but they don't have flights on the exact date. But I haven't yet checked the other dates, so maybe I could check a day after, or I could like go for a day after. But this one prefer an Etihad flight. Okay, this one prefer an Etihad flight. I'll be doing this one later because I need to contact NH, or I need to call NH if checking for, since we could have Etihad flight if we search it in NH. Okay, according to Donald. But I already tried this one, or tried having an Etihad flight in NH, and unfortunately I didn't get any NH or Etihad flight in NH, and NH or Anna Miles. Okay, we could only search Anna Miles if it's in round trip, and this is only in one way trip. So the best option I could have, or I could deal with this one, is call um Anna directly, but I will not be doing that one. So I'll just have it later on. But I could offer other airlines, let's say Singapore airline here, because they do have, because I'm already familiar, and they do have a flight from Dusseldorf and Sydney in Singapore airline. and this one is only a one-way flight. So for you also for you guys to check or see it. So let's have it. And I could also try and check. Let me just have, or let me just see it. So, I could also try and check a TA or Korean Air, since based from this, no one is working on Korean Air. Okay, no one is assigned, or yeah, no one did plot their schedule in Korean Air. So I could work, or I could search Korean Air. So I'll be opening Korean Air as well. Okay, that is on November 7th. Again, I already checked this one. Again, I could search Korean Air since the required packs is only for one person. I already checked this one in Singapore Airlines. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry, guys. There is a lot of interruption in my end. Okay. So there is no flight available on November 7, but you can see here that there is flight available on November 6. So since there is no stated, although this one, based from this request, it didn't state that he, okay, okay. Paul says that he is flexible, and it also didn't state that this one is um only needs exact date. Okay, so I could try if like I could uh okay, if I could like get a flight and excuse. Sorry, guys. Okay, so basing from this is we do have a available saver here, but the layover is long. There is a 9 hour layover, and we cannot have this one since this one. It is much better to have this, but we again, it is waitlisted, and we cannot over waitlisted. We might have this one, but in this one we need to use the standard mouse, and having used our using a standard mouse is we need to most of the time when using a standard mouse is we are uncompetitive. But let's check on a first class, okay, first class flight. If they do have first class flight on this, before I go with Korean Air, let's also check. Okay, let's also check the codes that was sent by other coder. Okay, checking if like they are a good flight or not. So having it in six, then since they don't have flights for on 7, so let's check it on 6. So they don't have first class flights. Okay. So you usually check on the itinerary if you're checking on the flights. Okay. So you usually have it in itinerary. Yeah. So this one was both sent for November 7. So what I could have is before considering sending the one for this one on November 6, I'll try and I'll try and search in Korean Air if they do have a November 7 flight, or if they do have flight for a certain route. Okay. So that is Sydney to Dusseldorf. But they don't have Dusseldorf flight. We don't have Dusseldorf available flight. Okay. So we could also check matrix here. On what other airlines we could get or we could send if there is no other working on it. So we do really have Etihad, China Air, Emirates, Virgin Australia, ANA. Okay. And also Cathay Pacific. But since it's not yet okay, And someone's already searching or looking for QF flights, and I cannot check on QF flights because it's not yet like, let me just recheck on the time for that if like I could already check. Also, there's a new one here. So this is a multi-city flight. I'm checking on this, like if I could uh, insert a SQ flight. So Giovanna, with hope we had. Hmm. So based from this is I cannot search for this one yet since there is no, okay, so there is no um okay, oh, I might just check where is, let's just have one. Giovanna to Geneva, I mean Geneva to Windhoek. Okay. Because I'm not familiar with the list, if what city or what airlines that will be flying on this, and I'm not familiar with Windhoek, Hoek air, airport. Okay, if where is it located? So that is December 17. Okay. So going back on this, so let me just recheck on the schedule. So if no one's working on QF, still no one's working on QF. Okay, I might work on QF on this one. Okay. So still no one is working on QF. I'll just own and have work. I will work on QF. Okay. So let's read it. So it's for 2 packs. So Geneva to Windhoek. Yes, we have. Check. So I might possibly get this the Qatar flight. Okay. So let's see here. Contest. Hoping that I'll get a Qatar flight for this route in Kansas. Okay. Again, I am scheduled in SQ, but checking on the uh checking on the checking on the work schedule. No one is working on QF, so I could work on QF. Okay. And that's the WHD. Oh, WDH. WDH. Okay. Okay. So it is on December 17 and it is flexible plus 7 days. December 17. Okay. And just for 2 person, let's check for flexibility. So let's read while that one is searching, let's read it more carefully. There might be like special requests or special preferences. So he wants a Star Alliance flight here. So we might like try and look for Star Alliance. Yeah. Though this again, this one prefer Star Alliance flight. Or okay, Star Alliance flight, but we could still consider sending a we could still try and send a one world flight. So luckily there is the Qatar flight that we're looking for. Okay. So I'll just get the price for per adult instead of using the total. It's much easier. I don't need to split it. Okay. And for taxes, it's 300, fees 100. Since this is just for one way. And so either you take note of the flight number, okay? Either you take note, jot down the flight number, or what I'm doing is, well, at first I did jotting down the flight details, but I write at most right now is I'll just have it directly like this one, getting the flight details and spacing it directly in the matrix. So the next flight is WDH to RUH. Oh, sorry. Okay. And the flight is on January 6. Okay. So I could also check here, okay, if what are the airlines flying for this route. Checking on the duration, what are the airlines with the lowest duration? And he did once a Saudi Air flight. Okay. And I think check on the general info, going by general info, what miles to use. I think we could get Saudi Air in Delta. I'm not sure. I did forget it. Saudi. Hmm. And there is no Saudi Air. Haha. We cannot get any Saudi Air. Where could we get Saudi Air? Let me just have. Oh, what happened here? Did I erase this one? I think not. Ah, someone did erase this. Maybe this one is one world. Okay, thank you for this. Okay. Okay. So we could get Saldia in SkyTeam. So we might check on Delta. hoping that we could get this flight. Okay. This just this flight, Johannesburg to Riyadh, but not this one. So that is Johannesburg. Johannesburg to Riyadh. Okay. So checking on the date, it's 6 January 6, 42. If you're checking on Delta, their business class is Delta 1. Okay. Because some of you might be asking, their business class is Delta 1. There's no available flights. Why? Okay. So let's try Air France if like they do will offer a Saudi air flights. Because if not, okay, because if not, we cannot get any Saudi air flights. I'll be trying to get this one or this one. Okay. So in here, I'll be using multiple miles and multiple airlines. Okay. No more. There's still one here and still one here. Still one here. No. So I'll just go ahead while this one checking on this one. I'll just have to check also this one. Possibly might get a flight. Yeah. So it's Johannesburg to RH. January 6th, for two-person, and check business class. Okay. So this one, the route is Johannesburg to RUH also. So let's have um, JNB to RUH. So I need to check this, make to have it visible. So that is January 6th. We're checking on the date, January 6th. So no flights possible for this. No flights possible for our friends. Six. So there's no available flight in saver flight in Kanta. So what we can do is have it go directly with AK flights. And in AK flights, there is a big possibility, or usually, or most of the time, okay, if you're just searching for one way, you'll get you will be getting a standard mouse. So let me also check AC in for Ethiopian. Since Ethiopian, we could get it in AC. Okay, so that is JNP to RUH. And but in EK or Emirates, don't always expect that all their routes do have a wide flights availability. Okay, they only have selected routes that do have a wide flights availability. Ah, we just have it here. Not sure what's the problem with this. So there is no there is no available. There is available, but this one is an economy flight. Um, Let me have a try UA if there is a possibility that they will have unstandard miles for that. Okay. So for AC, they are only offering Ethiopian flights, business, economy flight. So I'll try in UA, if like they do have, or if I could get a standard, because in AC they are only offering savers miles, okay? So they don't offer standard miles. So I might also check UA if they do have a standard mouse, because here we could get standard mouse. As for now, since for those who haven't yet for those who haven't yet got their account in the AMS, okay, so you could sign up using your own Gmail account or your own email account for now, okay, or most of I think most of the new coders, they do sign up using their own Gmail or own email account. But some also, like for like if they haven't yet signed up on other airlines and they already got their uh, login info in the airlines or in for AMS, they usually they do use their business email address. As for me, I also use my business email address because I did sign up after I got my email account, my business email account. But as for you guys, you could sign up as early as now if you want to. Okay. I think Emirates do have problems with their logins. So they don't have uh, business class. They don't have business class. So I'll just consider the Emirates one, hoping that I could log in. Okay, maybe someone did. I did. So I need to reset my password here. Uh, Price for what? What do you mean price? In matrix price, right? Again, as much as possible, if you could get the saver mile, that is much better than having a standard mile. Because most of the time, if you are using a standard miles, usually you are uncompetitive with, you will be getting or you will be uncompetitive with a matrix mile if you are using standard mile. But there's also some chances that even though like what we did a while ago in Singapore Air, um we are already using a saver mile in Singapore Air, but we're still uncompetitive. Okay, we're still uncompetitive. Okay, so there's also some cases like that. But as much as possible, if there is a saver mile, we'll go with the saver mile. This one was sent by Kim. Okay. Hmm. Where did I send it? Okay. It is only if you check the general info. Okay. Um, the only airline that we need to add fees is okay for taxes and fee. Okay. So the only airline we need to add fees is we have Asian Miles, United, Qantas, and Korean Air. So for other airlines, we don't need to add fees. Okay, and we have here the breakthrough, okay, or breakout of fees. What we need to add? Or how? Yeah, it's only four. So for the other airlines, you don't need to add fee. But for the taxes, you need to get the tax in the website or airline website. But for other airlines, Korean Air, Qantas, UA, Asia Miles, you need to add fee. What what did I use for my? Oh, there you go. It's did arrive late. But you need to read less track. Okay. Let me just. Did you know my password? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I did use a special character. Let me just reset the password for this. hoping that I could log in. Do you have questions? Any question while we're waiting for this? Any clarification? No more? No more clarification? Oh, so someone did search in EK. Is that Johannesburg to RUH? Okay. So thank you for that. So um yeah, JNB to RUH. So there is no available in January 6. Okay. So unluckily we cannot have this. Okay. Since there is no availability, so I'll just close this one for now. Okay. I might just back it later. Let's look for other. Okay. Let me track on old codes. Maybe I could like work on some old codes here. If you're working for first timer, I prefer that you work first on old codes before doing new codes. Okay. It's still up to you. Okay, it's still up to you if what you want to use, or if you want to go with the new codes than having doing the old codes. Ah, okay. So I'll try and have this. Yeah, it's 50. So LGW to BGI. So let's check what airlines are flying on that route. LGW. So that is Gatwick to BGY. And just BGI. So it's BGI. Since only one is working on this, excuse me. And this is already, it's one and the time is 8 or, oh yeah, it's 9. So I could work for this one. Checking on other airlines or other miles. Yeah. Phew, phew. So the date is on August 8th, and I think that is already available for most of the airlines. Okay, let's just create new for this one. Oh, for 8 person, there's a lot of the. So we have Virgin Atlantic and British Air. So we can go, and these are non-stop flights. So we could use our KVS and check on British Air. So that is LGW. I got rate to BGI September 8th. So since they need four, I mean eight packs. So I'll just search for four at first. Okay. If let's search on four. Because usually again, just a reminder that oh, they don't have availability. Let me just recheck. Yes, you have question, Christina? Just type your question in the chat box so that I could read them and also others could read them. Okay. I thought you do have questions. Okay. So let's have a day after. Maybe they might consider having a day after. Cross fingers that we could get still no availability. Just have it in London. And they also have Virgin Atlantic flights, so let's check on Virgin Atlantic flight. Because most of the quotas are not checking Virgin Atlantic, but let's have and check it. Virgin Atlantic. There's really no flights available. Okay, so we're checking on this. We'll just go with London. Okay, to BGI. Mm, August 8th. I'll just have it in one way first since they don't have yet the return date uh available for this. Okay. So let's have just first with four. Pay with miles, upper class. So why you might asking why am I just searching for four? Okay. The reason for that is usually we cannot like afford or they don't have um again the minimum required seats is eight. Yeah, I mean requires it. Mostly the minimum the limit award flight seats are limited and usually the maximum number for that is nine. But luckily we did have an availability for eight-person, so we could increase try and have it for eight if there is availability for eight. If not, I'll go lower it. Okay. So let's just recheck. So they do have availability for eight-person on Virgin Atlantic. Luckily. Luckily they do have availability. Okay. So getting the let me just close this flight number here. Okay. And this one is upper class Delta or business. So if I'm selecting this, so this is the required miles for eight-person. Copying that and pasting it to my okay. And the tax. So this is in pound, okay, sterling, pound sterling. So I need to convert this first to dollar. Okay. So I need to delete that one. And that is for eight-person. Okay. So I already got my flight for the outbound. So I need to search for my inbound flight. Okay. So checking on the other way around and they need it on 24. Okay. So checking on 24 of November. Okay. For VA because I'm hoping that they also have because we still haven't yet they're still not yet available for okay. They haven't yet got 24 I guess 24 date as well. So let's have and hoping that VA already got their August 24 flights. Okay, so maybe for those who are not familiar with outbound or inbound, okay, outbound is a departure, okay, departure flight, and inbound is the return flight. Got it? Okay. Any question? Again, outbound, departure, inbound, return. If it's a round trip or like open jaw, outbound is the first flight, inbound is the returning flight or the second flight. Okay. So we still haven't yet a flight. So I think let me just go directly with the British Air website since since it's telling me that it haven't yet 28. So maybe they still don't have 28. Okay, if you have question regarding the terms I'm using, you're not familiar with it, feel free to ask so that I could explain. Because sometimes you might or maybe you might um heard it or read it in the request note. So just check for the date right now if they do already have August flight. Um, they already have August flight here. So I'll just go and it's 24. Okay, just for one way. Just have it first for 4. Since we cannot get yet the 24 here, okay, I'll just check on other date with the within the exact day. Okay, other date within the exact day, because usually they do have the same flights. If we are looking for other day within the exact, other date within the exact day. Okay. So we don't have availability on 24, but it's on September, which is far, way too far. And this one is maybe I need to recheck it next week if I could get a date on if they will be available on next week. So for now, I cannot have it yet. And also in British Air, they don't have availability on either 24 or 25 or 23rd. But they do have on September. So, which is way too far from the preferred day. So I'll just leave this for now, okay? Because we cannot, I'll just have it invalid because the date is not yet available, okay? Or there is no inventory, or I'll just have it like that. We're checking on Terry if I might look for other. Okay, also this one. What else? I cannot send any more codes on this one since there are already four codes that was sent. As for this, okay, uh, well, mine is invalid since there is no flights. Or when I check Matrix, there are no Singapore flights to be seen. Okay, that's why I have it invalid. So I can have this and check. Since no one is checking EK and someone did send an AC flight, because usually in Dubai, well, we do have. Let me have. If you want to have a break, let's have a 5 minute break. I also need to go to the toilet, and let's have a pee break. Okay, are all back? All are back? Okay, let me just reply. Let me just ask Annalisa if what time she will be having her training. Let's just wait for the reply from Annalisa. So I'll be ending it by 1 p.m. Okay, so again, since no one is working with EK here, okay, so let's also check if they do have route for this in EK. So before going with EK directly, what we could do is go with the so let's go. Okay, so let's go with EK. Okay. So I'll just have this. Okay, I'll just use this one. Be instead of creating you, I'll just open this or owning this one for me. Okay. Though I haven't yet checked if there is really EK, I'll just have it in EK here. So with Hawk to DXV, that is on September 9. So it's almost, no, September 28th. So that will be next week. Only for one person. Okay. It's not flexible. So we do have DXB. We have one stop DXB here. Okay. So, because I cannot provide the one with the 1 hour layover, since I'll be using a two different. I'll be getting another flight. Okay, either I'll be getting it using a cash flight, or if I could find it in a wide flight. But in this case, okay, so I need to have a 3 hour, at least 3 hour layover. So I did find a 3 hour and 5 minutes layover here in Johannesburg. So I'll be checking Johannesburg to Dubai, and this one, Namibia. I'm not sure. I think I cannot get this for an award flight. Okay, so I'll be getting this as a cash flight basis. So uh, hoping that I'll be competitive. Okay. So let's just have it in a round trip basis. We'll be returning on October 5. Okay. I'll just think I have it by one way. Just one way. Okay. So I'll also try and check Emirates. I mean Qantas, but I'll have it first in Emirates. So I'll just try and search around trip from Johannesburg to Dubai. So we need to search using classic rewards and GNB DXB. The business class 28. October 5. I want to get a one-stop flight here. So since there is no Emirates for the return flight, there is no available Emirates flight. So I'll just have a one way, hoping that I could get if they will be providing me a saver mile. But if not, let's just also check in Qantas if they will be I could get a saver mile for Johannesburg to DXB on the Qantas, because again reminder or note that usually in Emirates, especially if you're just searching for one way, they will not provide you the saver mile. They will always only give you the uh they will only give you the full miles, not the saver miles. So for the return, there are only South African and Ethiopian flight. So I'll just have it using or check it in AC. So this is a mixed flight, or yeah, mixed miles and mixed flight. That is DXV to H October 5, just for one person. Okay. So basing from this, I need to have the 766. Though there is no 766 here. What else? This is a 10:20 p.m. flight. What I have is 768 and 762. There is the saver mile for 762 first class. So let's just have our result for first class. 762. Okay. So we have 762 here. They have 4 hours and 55 minutes duration, which is a bit long, but let's just try checking for like other. Again, it's 762. We have 762 here and 768. So we have 768 here, but I cannot have it since the layover is only 1 hour and 15 minutes. Again, since I'm combining two airline and I'll be getting them in two different either I'll be combining two airline getting them two different miles. Okay. Either it's two what do you call this? Either miles or cash. Okay. Because I cannot get them in just one award, since this one is an Emirate flight and this one is part of Star Alliance. Okay, so I cannot get them in just one award or 1 miles or one award flights. So I'll be combining two award flights or a cash flight and an award flight. If you're combining a cash flight or an award, two different award flights, okay, for just one required flight, okay, or one full flight, you need to have at least 3 hour layover. Okay, because 768 and 7, let me just repeat it, 762, 762, 762. Okay. So I think I'll just have to settle it with this one. This one is a 14-hour flight or a 15-hour flight. I think they could consider this one. Mm, So I'll just have this. Okay, I'll be getting the first class flight. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Mouse. Okay, let me just refresh this. Hoping I could get my mouse. Okay, that's 900. Okay, so 300, 100. And that is only for, where is it? Only for this flight. But how about this flight? So what I need to do for this flight is to duplicate or opening another matrix. Okay. So that is Windhoek to Johannesburg. So I need to search Windhoek to Johannesburg one way, and making sure that this one is selected or click or check. I mean this part here is check because we need to get the available flight. We need to get an available flight, not a ghost flight. Okay. So this is Air Namibia 723. So I need to 723. Okay, or might be able to like get that's a 7 a.m. Okay. So it's 243. Okay, 243. So adding that it here that um IWH to JNB. Okay. This class the price is 24243. Okay. Then checking on our okay. So we do have so there is no business class in mm, did you see it here that um this one I think this one is a standard model. If I'm going to compare this again, we did get the plane here, but if I'm going to compare, let's compare the prices. If I'll be getting this one instead of this should be Qantas, not okay. Emirates. So if let's just compare if the price if let's get this one and how much this will cost. cost. Okay, you could see that it is much expensive in using in the Emirates than in Qantas. That's why I did just have it in Qantas than in Emirates. Okay. So having the flight there and going back, let me just check the one that was sent by the other caller. Donnelly did send. I think she did send a two-stop flight. Okay. So yeah, she did send a two-stop flight, and you see here that she marked it September 27 instead of September 28. Okay. Just to emphasize for the client that the date she provided or she gave is a September 27 flight, and she did provide a long layover. I'm not sure why. Because usually Terry doesn't want this type of flight. Okay. If you're working or if you yeah, if you are working under Terry or if you're checking for quotation under Terry, please do mind I do please do mind with the rules. He's a very picky with the rules. So you need to follow rules if you you need to like consider the rules if you're working with under Terry. Let's see here. So United, JNB, oh not JNB, that should be W, IDXB to JNB. No, that is WHD or WDH. Okay. So 5, business class or first class. Hoping that I could get even standard miles for this. So we do have mixed cabin flights, and they do that is 24-hour flights, which is not good. Okay, so we cannot offer a 24-hour flight because if you can see here, the list for one stop flights is they do have only 12 hours. Okay, so maybe a 14-hour flight will do, but having a 24-hour flight is not a good flight. Okay, but this one is operated by Emirates, so maybe we could check because you can see here operated by Emirates. Okay, so maybe they do have availability in Emirates. So let's go back to Emirates. Okay, so most of it is operated by Emirates. So maybe I could nah. Let's check for Emirates flights, but the same. Okay. So classic DXB to JNB. Okay. So they have the 14 or 2, 240, 240 flights. Okay. So checking on this Emirates flight, if they do have 240, 11. And so they do have 240 flights here, but the layover is very long. Huh. Okay, what I can, maybe the other thing I can do is, okay, sorry. So EK, uh, they really do operated by 240 flights. Oh, this one is a bit hard for the outbound. Hmm. Okay, so we are not booking flights using Matrix. Okay, we're not booking flights because we're as a flight researcher. This is for the question of Mike, Michelle. Okay, we are not booking flights for the using Matrix. We are just checking flights using Matrix because booking flights that is direct, and as a flight researcher, you're not you're not uh you're not in charge for flight booking. All you need to do is flight research. Okay. So for Matrix is we are using Matrix for searching for flights. Okay. And also comparing the price and yeah, copying the itinerary or the petty flights here in Matrix. But we are not booking the flights using Matrix. As for KVS tool is just yes, it's just checking for flight availability or award availability, I mean for the airlines that they do have in the list or in their method without without going to the website. So you could check Matrix. Then once you find a good flight for that certain airline, you can go directly now to the using using KVS, then you can go directly now to the website to grab the required miles and taxes for that. Hmm. There's only one flight available on October 5. Let's check a date after, a day after, or maybe a day before. Still the same. Only one flight is available for this. Why? Okay. So there's only one flight that is available from DXB to GNB or Johannesburg. How about um CPT? So there is also a possibility, like if you are familiar with the routes, okay, you can try and search, even though it's not provided here in the matrix, try and search it using your gut jar. Try and search, try and combining flights. Okay. Because it will be arriving by 10, may hoping that there is a 10 onward flight non-stop. Ah, there is no 10 onward because it will arrive in, I know this is 8, 12 plus 8. Okay, so it's 8. Ah, there is no 8. Okay, so I think we need to settle it with this one because I really don't want providing a 3-stop flight or 2-stop flight. No, 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 no. So we did find a good flight for the outbound, but we cannot um find a good flight for the inbound, which is a very not good. But let's try. Okay. So there is a Kenya, I think. So let's try and have this Kenya flights using the KVS. So Kenya, we could get it in AF, usually in AF or DL. Okay. So I'll go first with DL. If I could go with DL using my KVS, if not, I'll try and search it in AF. Okay. Okay. Since we don't have like a direct flight, or I mean a full flight that we could get in Kenya, so I'll just have my network is nah. Can you still hear me, guys? It's like I'm experiencing unstable network here. Okay. Since we cannot have a one stop flight, I'll just find a two stop flight. Okay. Let's. I think Emirates. Someone did Skype a while ago that AC is out for now, so or they do have like maintenance for now. So I'll try to have Bahrain to Windhoek here. This one is 16R. Hoping that we could get. Need a little patience here in searching for flights. We really need a little. Well, some flights do have like easy to get flights. Some, but most of the time, especially for like new flights, they are very hard to get. They're hard to get. No, hard to get. Don't have Ethiopian. Why is it? So JNB. And it's almost one. I'll be ending this. I'm hoping that we could find. Maybe I need to extend it by 1:30 if we might be able to find a flight. Okay. If you're okay with that. So we do have um maybe we'll can get it in Delta because it's much cheaper if we could get it in Delta. I'm hoping. Okay. So maybe we'll be having this one here, the one on the 16R. No, so we can only get it in AF for Kenya flights. Okay. So checking 305 762 305 305 762. So there is available here. Luckily, there's available here. And okay, so let's go with the Air France and having this. If we could get it in our If we could, if what is much cheaper if using a saver mile or using a mile or checking it on cash. Yeah. I think I forgot to get the. Yeah. So we'll just have 7 6. What was that? 762. First class 762. Cars, 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 cars. More cars. It's not. Why? Why am I like this? Why are they not cooperating with me? Did I do something to them? Uh, they're making me cry. There's a lot of. Okay. 762. So I'll be having EK762 and Air Namibia. What's Air Namibia? Okay. So I'm checking what's the IATA code, airline code for this. So that is SW 723. Wait, guys, for a moment. Okay, sorry again for the interruption. There's a lot of interruption today. Um, so going back here, that is KQ. Ah, KQ 30 305, KQ 762. You need the KQ 305, KQ 762. Okay, we got this one. So, AF. In this, you need to be careful for Cantus. I mean, Cantus, not air France, because instead of decimal point, I don't know why, but they are using comma here. So that's why when you copy your taxes, the comma will be disregarded. So you need to change it to decimal point. So be careful when you are uh, copying the taxes in Air France. So this is for two adults, so I need to split that one to four, I to four two. Yeah. And okay. So South African essay. Well, either we get it in using the mouse or cash, which is much cheaper. Essay 78. Okay. So um I haven't yet decided if I'll be using mouse here or yeah. Because I need to check if what is much cheaper if it's in using mouse or using cash. Okay. Because if it's much cheaper using cash, I'll just go with using cash. Mm. So it is much cheaper using. You can say it is much cheaper using cash. So I'll go with the cash than using mouse. Okay. So for that is JNB to this class, and that is how much the price? 7 I 291. 291. Okay. So I need to remove this one. Since I cannot get the exact flight, okay, going back here. I cannot search using the exact flight. Okay, so I'll just remove that, or maybe. Okay, so I need now to get the price for this on. Okay, so we're now on the tricky part. How are we going to price, or how are we going to set the price for this? Okay, so for a one stop, or yeah, for one stop flight, South African, it's 3363 or 3,363, and for Emirates it's 4,017. Okay, okay, or 4,107. So we need to beat these prices. Okay. But I think we could like go over a little on this price, since part of our flight is a first class, Emirates first class flight. Okay, because we do have then again we do have an Emirates first class flight, so it is okay to go a little bit over on this um price, especially for South African prices here. So maybe I'll have 600. Okay. Because I'll go with a 600 price for now. Okay, so I'll just have it 600 since I am using a award. I mean cash flight. I'm using a cash flight here. That's why I'll I'll go in. I can still go with 800, but I will go over with three. So just to have it, I'll just go and settle it with 600 for now. Okay. Okay. So you will be determining the GP. Okay. You will be as a flight researcher. You will be setting the GP. But when setting up the GP here, when setting up the GP, you need to consider. Okay. You need to consider the prices in this, because again, this is the hard part, or most of the new coders are having problem determining the price they will be selling or offering the clients. Okay, because mostly they do offer like uncompetitive prices. Okay, so we will having this. Okay, let me just prepare my. Okay. EKAF. No, not AK, since I did get it in Qantas. And when I get it in Qantas, I am uh, it is a first class, not a business class, so I need to change it for first class. You need to follow the class, not the class from Matrix, but the class in which you did search it. Again, because for this Emirates flight, Emirates 762, we did get it for a first class flight. So I need to have it in first class. And uh, unfortunately is we cannot get the whole flight, okay, or we cannot see the whole flight. Uh, okay. Or I mean, uh, unfortunately we cannot have the whole flight or the round trip flight for just one whole flight. Okay, we cannot have it, or we cannot get the result for a round trip flight using our specific flight. Okay, so I yes, if we are using a cash price, okay, cash price or matrix price tickets, cash price tickets is we need to at least use 500. The least we could use is 500 to be competitive, but at most or usually we need to have 800 or higher. If we could go higher, that's much better to make it, but staying on a competitive side. Okay, so this might be a bit tricky since we are um, having, so if we're going to compute the total price for this, is the price is, let's calculate this. Okay, okay. So 2491.50 plus for this one is 1614.70. So the price for this is 4,106, and we have also we are not just going to compare our price for the total price of this flight. We are not just comparing it here. We also need to consider the other airlines, okay? Because we have a mixed one stop and a two stop that is not a full one stop flight. We are mixing a one stop and a two stop flight. So we can just offer that, okay? And we have here a non-stop flight or one-stop flight from Singapore, South African, which is 3,363, and an Emirate flights, okay, which is 4,117. So based from our set from our selling price, okay, based from our selling price here, which is 3,861, we are already competitive with the Emirates one stop, right? And we're already competitive with this one, Emirates one stop, which is 4,117. Okay. And we have a South African flight, which is 3,363. Okay. Okay. And we're not able to beat this price. We're not able to beat this price. So that is unfortunate. But remember that but we could still go, or we could still consider this as our price, having a 600 GP, okay? 600 GP. This is what I said. based on my like checking or comparing the price with the matrix, I can go with 500. Okay, but maybe I can have a little bit higher, which is 600 for my part. Okay, so you could just settle with a 500 as a list because you are using a cash price, but I want to go with a bit higher prices since I do have a first class flight here, so I think I can it's okay for me to go a bit higher for this. As for the Kenya price is we have 3,000 to stop 3,000 73, okay? 3,073. Um so we also need to consider this one, and we also have the Ethiopian flights here, which is 1,900. But if we're going to check on this, let's check. Okay, the 1,000. Okay. So if we're going to compare on this one is not a good flight since they do have like a long layover. So it's okay to not compare the price for this one. But we need to consider the price for a Kenya flight, the South African and the Emirate flight. Well, we do have a Kenya flight, okay, and for South African is we have 3,360. So maybe I'll just have instead of having 600, maybe I'll just go with a 500. Okay, so it's still reasonable for me. Okay, because I for this is I think I'm still reasonable since I do have a first class flight for a one stop flight and a first class flight in Emirates. Yeah. Maybe a bit hard for you guys right now, but um as the training goes on or as you goes with the actual, you might and asking the old or asking us trainer. Okay. Okay. Then the retail price is we could have this one. I'll just use this one, the one that I computed, but I'll have it a bit higher because I do have a first class flight. So let's check on the first. Um, sorry guys. So maybe I'll just use this one, the multi-carrier price for one stop. Okay. 5,900. Okay. Well, this example that we do is a bit complicated, so you might not be able to understand it. But for others, it's much easier to discuss. But this one is a bit complicated because the route is not much familiar, or There are only limited flight, limited airlines that is offering for this, so it might be a bit hard for you to understand. Let me just recheck on my award calculator. Okay. So I'll be offering this for $3,753.23, okay, or $3,758 US dollars, okay. Though I am not competitive, again, I'm not competitive with the Southern African or Kenya, okay, but I still think that I the flight is good, okay, or the price is just right for this one, since I do have, okay, I do have a first class flight. This itinerary have a first class flight and only short layovers, okay. So I didn't with like a 5 6 hours layover, okay. So I think my okay, I think my quotes is reasonable for this for the price. Because if we're going to check like first class flight, maybe they are much expensive. Okay, because if I'm going to think like a if I'm going to think as a customer, oh, I'll be experiencing a first class flight on this one. Okay, and it is an Emirate flight. Those though for Skytrax Emirates is a four star airline, but most of the are most of the clients still consider it as a 5 star airline. Our trip advisory consider Emirates as a 5 star airline. 762. Boeing 77 pursuit. So it's much better to have it like this. I can also highlight this so that the clients can like perceive that this one is a first class flight. So he might able to consider this one. Okay. So I might encourage him. I might encourage him that to pick this flight, okay, or to consider this flight. So since this is a one stop and a first class flight for Emirates and Kenya. mm, Do you have any question? So if it's a recliner seat, I don't need to put recliner seat. Just left it with um. hmm, That's not the right plane. You have any question, guys? So need to save this. We're checking if like I missed something. You always need to recheck dates 28 October 5. Okay, so let me also check the okay. Okay. So for award calculator, okay, as of now you cannot have it yet since you don't have access with the AMS, or for those who doesn't haven't yet access for AMS, you cannot have it yet. Well, I did request if there are some links that they could have. Okay. I did ask some because previously we did find a link in the general info provided by Donald that there is an external award calculator which is not part of the system. But when I did a follow up for that, they told me that the link is not available anymore. So sorry, I cannot do anything for that. And if you do really need that, they if they told me, the IT department told me that I need to request that for Donald or inform Donald about that. But I think Donald didn't provide a budget for that one. So I have for two people 500. Let me just recheck. No, that is for one, not for two. Well, I did search for two, but I'll just have it for one. And we have X Matrix Price and Cantus. What's the Cantus again? My Cantus is K. Okay. Then for the second is we have Air France. Air France is C, then a cash price. So I need to add now the okay. So we're checking. So I need to change now this one. In Terry, if you're working with Terry, don't erase this part. He wants to have this, the quotation number. So don't delete that one if you're working for Terry. Okay. So, and it's much better to round it off. Okay. So USD is fine with him. Okay. Don't need to. And what's important for him is the route instead of the flight. It's important the route for him. Okay. So I'll have a first class, business class. So this is a combination of first class, business class flight. So for the clients to encourage to open and check it. Okay. So any question? I send it. I'm done. So this is for the currency converter, the one that Mikhail Mikhail sent in the group chat. That is the currency converter. Any more question? But for the reward calculator or the award calculator, this one, it's part of the system. You cannot access this one. You will be having an access on this once you are you already have your account for the AMS. But as of now, you cannot access the EMS if you don't have an account. But for the currency converter, we have this, the one that was provided by Mikhail. Any more question before I end? No more question? No question, guys? So for next training, I'll try to have this evening, okay, to make up. I'll cope up with you guys. Also 10 p.m. Yes, around 10 p.m. Okay. So if you don't have any more question, I hope there is some points that you could you get here. Okay. Thank you for attending the live training and have a nice afternoon, guys. Yes, 10 p.m. I'll be announcing it in the group chat. Bye bye, guys. See you this evening. Just wait for my announcement.